We're going to Miami. Going to Miami for the Starbucks Coffee Kickoff Celebration, August 31st, before the Hurricanes and the Fighting Irish get after it on that Sunday. We got a game breakdown for you for that game here in a matter of moments. But here's the deal, man. For me, I know it's officially college football season. When Saturday morning rolls around, I got my PSL in hand while dialing into all the last-minute notes for an absolutely epic Saturday slate like we have in Week 1. So, to properly celebrate the return of both college football and the pumpkin spice latte, come hang out with me, the best return man here in the history of college football and history of football, period, and Devin Hester at the Starbucks Coffee Kickoff Celebration on August 31st. Again, before Devin's Hurricanes take on Notre Dame. It's ball. It's PSLs. It's the most beautiful time of the year. I'll see you guys in Miami. Super excited for that, for the Starbucks Coffee Kickoff Celebration. How about an alliteration there, huh? Little tongue twister. Love to see it. But like I said, big game, man. Absolutely massive spot here. Notre Dame at Miami. It's a Sunday kick, right? So the beautiful part about college football in Week 1, got action Thursday. We'll talk about that game in a second. Friday, talk about those games in a second. Saturday and Sunday. Oh, no, by the way, just for good measure, got a Monday game. But the Sunday game for us, the biggest Sunday game, is this one. Notre Dame favored by 2.5, going to the Hurricanes, playing in Hard Rock, 7:30 Eastern, ABC. If I'm Miami, this is a respect game because everyone's talked for a long time around what the U is supposed to be and the tradition they have there and what they were in the 80s and all that. This is a spot now where you can go and just truly, like, not just demand, but like take respect because you got a team rolling into Notre Dame, play for the national title last year. We've all got them penciled in as a playoff team. They're going to your place. They're favored at your place. If you want respect, go take it in this spot. Go take it. Would be my thing I would say if I was in that building in Miami. Now, if I'm from Notre Dame, I think the temperature for them is curious because they're walking with some swagger here. All right? New pieces for sure. New DC, new quarterback. CJ Carr going to make the start. But I'm walking with some swagger, and I'm not just talking about bravado. Like, bravado is talking a big game, puffing your chest out. Anyone can do that. There's real swagger. There's real internal belief here if we're Notre Dame because you got results now to point back to. You can say what you want before the season about how we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but then Notre Dame actually went out and did that a year ago. Some new pieces for sure. We already mentioned who they lost and who they have coming back, but the results they have from a Marcus Freeman way of doing things, that would give me an extra little edge here from Notre Dame rolling into this game, which would be huge. The non-negotiable for me in this game for Notre Dame, my best players have got to have a say on this football game. I'm not leaving this game. On the bus ride back to the airport, we fly back to South Bend and say, man, should we have gotten Jay Love the ball a little bit more? Should Jaden Greathouse have a more impactful role in the offense here going forward? What about Pauling? Should we get him more involved? None of that. My best players are dictating the scheme in this game, not the other way around. Not they're scheming out our best players of the game. We are letting Jeremiah Love eat. We're getting him in the slot. We're handing the football. We're getting Jaden Greathouse isolated. We're getting Malachi Fields. Like, all my best playmakers are touching the football at a high level in this game based on how we're calling it. Okay, that's a non-negotiable. If you want to go out there and let this Miami defense, this new-look Miami defense, kind of put you in a box, not going to be a fun plane ride back to Old South Bend, Indiana. Now, for Miami, I need a clean Carson Beck. Not clean in the sense of I need him to not be sacked too much. That's obviously a part of this. But Carson Beck, what was the knock on him a year ago? Transfers over from Georgia. The knock was, well, yeah, super talented. Yeah, NFL-style arm could be a first-round draft pick when it's all said and done, but the guy was just forcing the football into places he shouldn't. And I think a lot of that, just so we're on the same page, was a Georgia problem, not a Carson Beck problem. But the only mark I want on Carson Beck at the end of this game when it comes to his box score is those tattoos he's got, man. That's all I want on him. I want that interception number clean because you got a first-year starting quarterback in CJ Carr making his first start against you. Like, I need the pressure on him. I don't want Carson Beck spotting them extra possessions, none of that double-digit turnover stuff you had a year ago. I need clean football from Carson Beck. You don't give away your quarterback advantage if you're Miami, and that's how you would keep that if it's me. The matchups here, Miami's got some young bucks in the perimeter, man, at wide receiver. Bunch of pieces they lost the draft. If you're a Miami fan, you already know about it. You're not worried about that. A lot of new guys, though, in Malachi Tony's a true freshman. Josiah Trader, high-profile guy. You got Keelan Marion transferring in from BYU. You got CJ. Like, a lot of names there that are now on the roster, which also, if you're a Miami fan, you also know those guys. But what is Notre Dame going to do defensively to you? Man coverage. They're going to lay that gauntlet down early. And if you can win man coverage, you're going to have a real good shot to win the game. But here's the deal, man. With Chris Ash calling the show, I think it'll be pretty similar to what it was a year ago in the sense that, yeah, they're playing man coverage. They're also going to heat you up. And so if you're going to win, you better win right away in man coverage. If you can do that, you score a lot of points. You then put pressure on C.J. Carr and that Notre Dame offense to be more explosive, to be more dynamic, something they weren't really a year ago. At times they were, I suppose, but it wasn't because they were this aerial assault. They're going to be more pass happy in 2025. Well, the Irish, them scoring points, them being Miami, winning man coverage, will put more pressure and more importance on Notre Dame to be more grown into their new look offense here in this first spot. So if they can't do that, hey, they're just getting jammed up on the perimeter. Guys can't separate. Bad deal, bad for business. Guess what happens then? You go to your offensive line to run the football, which isn't a bad situation if you're Miami, but it's not plan A. It's not your fastball. And another way to put this, it is Notre Dame's fastball. Notre Dame is going to be real good in that front seven. I would not want to get into a rock fight with that football team because this game is going to be determined, I think, by how it flows. If it's in the 30s, I like Miami. If it's in the 20s, I like Notre Dame. If Miami has to resort to a rock fight kind of style of game, it's going to be played in the 20s, and they're going to lose the football game. Now, on the other side of this, though, how C.J. Carr handles the pressure from Miami may also dictate how this whole game goes, because I don't really question if Notre Dame has the advantage on the perimeter with their skill players. I actually think Notre Dame's receiver room is quietly one of the better receiver rooms in college football, could have massive boom potential. I don't question if C.J. Carr can spin it. If you watch the spring game, if you've watched his high school stuff, like, you know the guy's got arm talent. Okay, that's not the question. The question is he able to stay upright enough and be able to handle a muddy pocket or handle extra pressure from a Corey Heatherman defense to be able to then deliver the football down the field to those guys? Because I think Miami's defense will be better in 2025, especially in that secondary. Usually if you're better, it isn't necessarily like you see the return on investment in game one. Maybe you see it in October, you see it in November, you get your feet wet. First game of the year, even if Miami's better in the secondary, I don't know if they'll play all the way better from this first spot against this Notre Dame receiving corps. So my point in all this is, if C.J. Carr can handle the rush, keep his eyes up, be able to evade pressure, that is a style of game that I think will favor Notre Dame pretty definitively in how they push the ball downfield. And then them being able to run the football off that, like with Jeremiah Love, it could be game, set, match. But if I'm Corey Heatherman, I'm attacking the composure of C.J. Carr. What did we hear during fall camp with C.J. Carr? Hey, talented kid, does a lot of quarterback one kind of stuff that gets you excited about him. Also, a little bit inconsistent. A little bit of a, I want to be careful how I say this. The way that I interpreted what was said to me is sometimes can be a little bit tense. You know what makes quarterback tense? Having a grown man running off the edge at you and sacking you early on in the football game, and you feel that physically, one, but emotionally, two, mentally, you start thinking about that, speed up the shot clock. Not a good way to live if you're Notre Dame in this spot. So the new DC for Miami, Corey Heatherman, I think they'll try to dial it up a little bit early here to make him a little bit uncomfortable. So this game in itself, quick Google search suggests there's potential for some bad weather in Miami on Sunday. So that makes me think, okay, who has the best survival kit between Notre Dame and Miami? To me, I like the idea of, even if it's ugly for both quarterbacks, the luxury for C.J. Carr to say, I don't have it today, but Jeremiah Love does. I don't have it, but Jadarian Price is a pretty good option to turn around and hand the football to. I think that plus Notre Dame defense gives me a lot of confidence in what I think could be kind of a weird game. Week 1, Sunday, thunderstorm potential, new quarterbacks for both sides. It feels like it could be very, very wonky and weird. So with that being said, I'm going to take Notre Dame to win this football game. I think it is played in the 20s. I think it's close. I think Notre Dame barely covers the spread. I think the final score, 26-23, Irish get it done on the road and get their season started off with a bang. Important to note here, there is a world now where C.J. Carr does look a little bit sped up, doesn't look awesome, and you go to Kenny Minchey, maybe it's second half, maybe it's early in, to close the first half. I don't know, but there is a world where Notre Dame switches quarterbacks and still wins this football game. Okay, so to keep a pulse on that, something to watch for. We'll take the Irish to win and the Irish to cover ever so slightly by half point.